Okay, I'm streaming again today, and the reason I'm streaming again is because I've decided I'm gonna take a few steps backwards. I'm gonna redo the pencils on the Ninja number 2, and so for that reason, also this is kind of significant, is I'm testing my YouTube streaming settings on OBS. I found some videos to point me in the right direction as far as really fine-tuning my streaming settings. I'm hoping that's going to result in fewer dropouts. So time will tell. So I'm going to actually go to my channel on my other screen right now. It looks like I'm streaming. Check, check, check. Okay. So we'll see what happens. But what I'm going to do is I'll do a quick recap of kind of sort of where we're at with the project here. Turn all these tracks back on. So what I had done from the camera point of view is we have a Kari in the background, which you can't see her right now, but basically Ninja number 2 is climbing in, he does a barrel roll, and then we got Ninja number 2 coming in. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to hide Ninja number 1. I'm going to leave that on because that's my background. I'm going to hide the ink on Ninja number 1. And I'm also going to hide the ink on Ninja number 2 because what I want to do is I want to do a better job of penciling in Ninja number 2. Okay. So the first thing we want to do though is switch to the front view and then confirm that our cursor is at the 0 point. Control Shift Alt minus. Okay, see my cursor just jumped, so that's good. That means that we are at 0, and what that means is that when I start drawing, it's actually going to. You can see these strokes were placed in the wrong spot. I want to make sure they're all on the main flat plane. So if that doesn't make all the sense in the world to you, I would say don't sweat it too much. It's not that important. But so Ninja 2, blah, 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 blah. Okay, so let's just get busy. Okay, I don't want to be using the ink brush, that's for sure. So I'm just gonna go like this. Basically the first thing that happens is Ninja 2's hand pops up into view. Now one thing I was doing earlier today was I was talking a little bit about animation technique in terms of sticks and balls. And the reality is when you're doing something like what I'm doing here in particular is you'll see with Ninja 2's hair you really want to treat all of his anatomy like a bunch of sticks and balls so that you make sure that things are in fact appearing where you want them to be and they're remaining consistent from frame to frame. Now in his case he's got this hair that's kind of like many people have commented, it's sort of Naruto type hair. And okay, so now we might have a scale problem, so I'm going to actually turn Ninja 2 back on for a minute. Okay, just to make sure, I'm going to leave him in there for a bit, and I'm also going to double check and confirm. Yeah, see, we are drawing on the flat plane, so that's what we wanted. Okay, just want to make sure that this guy's not like out of scale with what the guy in the foreground. Don't want to draw him too big. So anyway, I got 2 people watching right now. So guys, if you notice like dropouts and stuff with OBS from the stream, let me know, post a comment, because I've done some fine tuning to my OBS settings that I'm hoping will result in less of these stopping and starting issues that I've had with some of my live streams. So okay, so now let's just get busy and start penciling this guy in. Okay, so one thing that's a little so I definitely made his hair too big there, so let's just backpedal from that and let's compare this. Okay, I'm gonna say this, just gonna make some quick presto changeos so that we're sort of getting started on the right foot. So here, okay, we can see his head popping up here in the sketch. So what I think I will do is let's go ahead and establish, right here we're establishing the scale. We know how big this needs to be. And so let's get that shape in there. And this is coming across here, so we can just barely see this guy's face. Okay, so what that allows us to do, which is useful, is let's go ahead and grab all these points, hit the L key to select linked. I'm going to hit Control C so that I can actually go back to the previous keyframe, paste those lines in there. I want to make sure that proportional editing is off, by the way. Hit the G key and then pop that down there. And now I can do a little erasey poo, and so that what we wind up with is, okay, that's making way more sense. Okay, so now we can carry forward, and at least we know that the relative scale of things is going to be about right. Now I'm also going to grab this hand because that's certainly detailed enough that it's going to allow me to ink that properly. So let's just put that back in there, and we'll say that when his head pops up, his hand probably just scooted downstream a little bit. Alright, and now I'm going to go ahead and tighten that up a bit. So anyway, like I said, the reason I'm restreaming now again here today is because I actually main reason is just to make sure that OBS is going to behave. And if so, okay, and then it's noteworthy here that his hand appears to be sort of going behind Ninja 1. Okay. Cool. Good. Okay. So now we might as well leverage this basically as far as we can. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to start jumping forward because we already have these sketch frames in there. And I'm going to paste in his hair. I'm going to scale it down ever so slightly and then pop it up here and just rotate it into place so that I mean there's no point drawing it over and over and over when, you know, if we know that shape is what it's going to be, then let's just keep using it. There we go. You can feel that moving pretty nicely. Okay, now he's getting ready to do his bad move. Whoops. G key. Rotate that just a bit. And I'm going to say it's probably going to be like that. And then at this point, maybe we'll see a little bit more coming in here because his head's going to be down like that. He's got his headband. Okay. He's got his mask. Okay, so at this point, I'm going to erase Ninja 1. I don't even want to see him. He's just cluttering up the works, really. Okay, so but this. So again, the point, other than testing OBS, the point here is to get a much greater level of detail on this sketch so that when I go to ink it, I'm not guessing, because I really kind of felt like I did a bad job this morning because I was blabbing so much, you know, talking, that I really kind of chimped out on. Most of it was fine actually, but I just feel like why not redo it all? Okay, it's not that long of a sequence. What he's going to do is he's going to come up here and boom, and then he hits the table and knocks that vase over. So yeah, that's just basically looking better. I mean, that I was using this morning, or I shouldn't even say this morning. Actually, when I did the disconnected and reconnected again. Okay, it looks to me like I just had a disconnect reconnect, which means OBS is still being a little bit stupid. What's really strange is, I mean, it's not like the bandwidth is that high. It's not like the CPU use is high at all. But yet, there it is blank. So there's at least one blank out, unfortunately. I was hoping that wasn't going to happen, but it did. So it is what it is. So let's get this hand right. Okay. he's a little weaker than the other guy, so he's kind of hanging on for dear life here a little bit. Okay. Let's see if his expression... Okay. I think what we'll do is let's have a little bit of fun with his expression. I don't think I'm going to buy that. He's not going to be like looking all worried and stuff, but never hurts to try something different. It's like riffing, you know, we're riffing. We're trying different stuff, see what works, what happens. Okay, so there's that. Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and give myself a guideline here. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to give myself also a guide shape. So I'm going to, what I was kind of addressing there in his expression, I'm going to kind of do with his eyebrows. Actually, can't draw the mouth. These guys don't. These guys have masks on, so there's no mouths involved. My bad. Okay. I keep wanting to draw his mouth. Isn't that weird? Okay, so I need to zoom out and see the actual... Yeah, I mean, the actual scale of it. He's pretty reasonably sized on screen, so it's not like we're not going to really see his expression, right? Okay, so we got to go back one step here, and I want to say this hand. Let's go ahead and get rid of the scribble lines. Trying to really move fast and keep this fluid so it feels natural. And when I go to ink it, it's going to be I'm eliminating all the guesswork is what I'm doing, really. Okay. Okay. Can we do a shift? I'm not gonna. Let me double check. Okay. It's a little annoying. We got onion skins on. But I guess when I let go, I'll see them. Okay, so that's cool. Alright, that's good. Because that means... is that the next pose? That is the next pose. So that means I can go ahead and get rid of those lines. And I'm kind of feeling like my onion skins are a little bit too light. A little bit hard to see there, folks. Just checking to see if there's any chat going on. Okay, so now we're going to be going to there, so let's go to here. Okay, so very broadly brush speaking, we're going to have a highly foreshortened paste in. And what we would want to do is something like that, I believe. Okay, I don't know about the scale though. Okay, it looks like OBS has only pooped out one time in 15 minutes, which is pretty good. I mean, we can't necessarily expect perfection now, can we? No, we cannot. So I'm going to get this guy penciled in, and then basically I'm planning on quitting live streaming for the moment. You know, for today, I mean. Okay, and actually this part really needs to be up a little higher. Okay. So now it's okay to block in the shapes here without necessarily delineating the fingers, as long as that outline shape is pretty definite. Yeah, that's cool. Okay, so this hand is actually gonna turn a bit. And is he gonna flatten out? Yeah, he's gonna have to flatten out. So therefore, something like that. Boom. And then by the time he gets here, his thumbs are going to flatten out like that. And so his hand's going to be more like that. And let me just get this one as well. Dun, dun. So we'll leave those 3 fingers as kind of a group, but let the pinky spin out by itself. Okay, so now as he puts his weight on there, any more blank outs? Doesn't look like it. Looks like OBS is kind of sort of doing okay. Okay. Okay, so this is a little tricky to draw because it's so foreshortened that, you know, I mean, you're sort of having to guess. Now he's wearing like these gloves that have the fingers cut off, so there would actually be a line right there, and then all this part would be black. Okay, so that's not too bad. Okay, so this is all clustered together. So always working from the known to the unknown. Same thing here. It's worth mentioning though that this has to be behind this line. Actually to there. So I'm really giving myself a bit of a cheat here. I'm actually thinking that his arm would have to go like that, truthfully. Okay, now this is the part I was talking about for today. I wanted to be real meticulous about. Basically, if I draw his headband and his ear, that's going to provide a pretty good guide for the motion of the whole head, because that's what I want to do a better job on, is how his whole head turns. Basically, the headband goes to here, the ear goes to back here, and I think, yeah, he's gonna push. So boy, this is a tricky one. I think he'd keep his head up, actually. So I'm gonna sort of overrule what I did before. Yeah, see, there he's keeping his head up. In other words, if you can imagine, there's the headband in the ear. So let's maintain that. So we're really going to put, let's see, if here's the curve in there. So it's going to be right around here. Let's just say it's right around there. Okay. Okay, that worked. I gotta zoom out and get my perspective here about what I was thinking there. I need to turn on only render. Oh, I see. I see. His head is moving this way. Okay. But I'm gonna say I think his head should be, he should be keeping his head up. Like so. So his ear would be here. His mask would be something like that. And obviously his Naruto hair, which I still have to get it all matched up. But that's definitely looking a little better. I'm not totally sold on this, because this, I mean, his clothes are not tight, but they're you know, they're not baggy either. So, I'm not buying that position. I don't like it. I'm going to put the elbow there. So if the elbow's there, that means you got to have the crook of the arm right there, which means that this has got to be foreshortened something like that. Okay. So that would push his elbow back a little bit, I guess. Boom. As he sort of gets into position. Okay, and this is foreshortened this way, which means the front part of the arm right there, of the forearm I should say, is going to be sort of cut off. Okay. Now he's got these wraps on his wrists, as you probably know if you've been watching these live streams. Okay, I like that pose a lot. Okay, that's super foreshortened. Yep. That feels pretty good too. And so, yep. Okay, that's a little off. How many we got watching? 3? Are you guys noticing, if you guys want to comment, are you noticing, is the stream blanking out at all? Or is it going pretty consistently? I'm still not sold on that pose. I'm going to go ahead and erase his arm there and leave that. I'm going to defer on that pose. And let's switch over to his eyes for a bit. Okay. Too narrow. It would be, I tell you the truth, it would be easier to cut and paste the strokes from here to the next frame, but for reasons I won't get into, I don't want to do that. I basically don't want to cheat. I want to make myself draw it repeatedly. So we got this to this. I mean, partly I want to take some of the principles that I was mentioning this morning and put them, you know, into practice here by sort of figuring out what those key lines are. There's one there that moves to here, that moves to here. Okay, so this was not accurate the way I did it, which is not to say that I won't decide it's still not accurate enough, right? So if I have to draw this 3 or 4 times, I don't really care. I'm just more interested right now in coming up with a result that I like. Okay, so let's put in, there's kind of an implied line there, his nose. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to try to intensify his expression a little bit. Okay, but I got to get the distance between the eyes correct. It's almost basically one eye width, right? So let's just say, I'm going to give him more of a, I don't know why I'm having so much trouble getting the eyes balanced out today. But there it is. Okay. Yeah. Okay, so I'm going to let him kind of intensify his gaze a little bit as he sort of prepares to do his own barrel roll move, which of course is going to be a epic fail, as we like to say. So I guess my point was about the quality of this drawing and animation is that This morning I was doing quite a bit of cutting and pasting and treating it more like, oh, I don't know, like CGI, where you're creating a model. Do I use Blender for compositing? No. I use Sony Vegas for almost everything that involves editing or compositing work. Although on this project, I have been doing quite a bit of the post-production effects right in OpenTunes when I comp the scenes together. I mean, basically OpenTunes is my post effects tool for the most part. But I mean, there's almost nothing that you can do in OpenTunes or Blender that you can't do in Vegas, and Vegas is going to perform much, much better. Highly GPU optimized and all that sort of thing. I mean, and it's stable too. It doesn't crash. Like, I mean, it's hard to crash Vegas. Yeah, that's looking way better. Okay, so he's going to go into his move. And I don't know. I'm actually thinking if he does this move quick enough, this part could be kind of general looking. I mean, in other words, I don't think we need to delineate a lot of his facial features. I mean, the guy's going into a boom, 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 you know. That's going to go by pretty fast. And the detail is going to be completely wasted. Okay. So let's just step back here now and take a little look. I'm going to go to the camera view and turn on, I think I'll turn on the sketch of Ninja One. I don't really want to see the ink right now. Okay. It's not like the greatest. Would you say Vegas is better than HitFilm? Well, I haven't used HitFilm Express. I don't know if it was you who pointed it out yesterday that you were using it. But it looks like the way they talk about it, that HitFilm is very well optimized, like GPU optimized. They're portraying it to be a very performant application. And if that's true, it might be a lot of fun to use. I haven't had the chance to test it yet, though. So I can't speak intelligently about it. But, you know, if it's better, it's just like I've been doing on this whole project. Is like, whatever's the right tool for the job. You know, when I started doing this thing, I thought it was going to be all about the Blender grease pencil. And then when I got into the, well, correct, it's free, which is a plus. You know, like Natron, the compositor, I've got that on this system. So whatever is the best tool for the job. So I got into it and found out that nope, it's not going to be the Blender grease pencil, it's going to be OpenTunes. And I had previously badmouthed OpenTunes quite a bit because I ran into, you know, if you don't really work with it and sort of get to know it and get on friendly terms with it, it's one of those programs that's just like Blender, frankly, that will turn you off early. It'll turn you off quick to go, okay, this is just a buggy, crappy app. But then when you sort of resolve to give it a try, you know, and stuff, you find out that it's a little deeper and a little more capable than you first realized. And while it is buggy and crash prone, it's also somewhat, in ways I won't try to explain right now, it is fairly forgiving of crashes. You definitely, you know, with any program you want to save your work frequently, that's for sure. So basically, I think we're in pretty good shape here. I'm going to put a little wrinkle in his outfit there. And this is almost going to be flat across there. Okay, before watching. So I've only seen OBS blank out on this live stream one time, so that's good. It doesn't appear to be giving me a lot of blanking, so maybe optimizing the settings proved to be a good idea. Okay, so what about his hair here? Okay, so this is going to be tricky. I'm thinking what do you do for an anime? I mean, frankly, his hair, what's going on with his hair is really kind of two-dimensional. I seriously considered building his hairdo in Blender just so I could rotate it around and see what it would really look like from different angles. But it's like, eh. And by the way, just to be careful here, I'm going to check that everything's still happening on the flat plane like I expected it to. And it does seem to be, so that's good. Okay, so, but here, you know, obviously he's going to have some of this kind of thing going on, so. You know, and then in these shots, there's generally going to be some indication of the hair that overlaps. But, okay, so this is going to be a tricky shot. Okay, I'm just going to kind of feel this hair situation. Because this is one of the things that was kind of hokey about the version I did earlier today. Yeah, I think that's going to work, actually. Okay, that's cool. Now I said here I was going to turn his head back up more, so he's actually going to be about like that, I would say. Okay. So there's a lot of motion here, clearly. Okay. So he's got essentially, boom, boom. He's got these two spikes. And then there's kind of a big M here on his top of his head. So we just want to basically maintain the idea that, you know, you're gonna, I don't want it to chatter. You know, it's gotta, the basic integrity of the shape's gotta remain pretty consistent from frame to frame. So that's feeling pretty good. I'm not sure I'm sold on this expression in his eyes. Let's take his eyes back out and rethink it. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to lose the guy's eyes. There, I like him. I definitely like what he's doing there. And that's cool. So, I'm thinking I want to simplify. Okay, here's what I'm going to do, actually. I'm going to save my work. And then I'm going to pull up the project in Vegas and just look at the shots that I did earlier where this guy was fully rendered. And that missing file does not matter. Yeah, here he is. Okay. So let's make this good full. Yeah, I mean, he really has very simplistic eyes. And, bad. Looks like he does have the strap on the right-hand side. On his right. I wonder if I... Okay, let's go back here and see if I boogered that up. I did. So actually, technically, that needs to be re-rendered because I got to add the band on his right arm. See there, it's gone. Yeah, Blender 2.8. I was using it the other day. The drawing I posted the other day of All Might from My Hero Academia, that was done in Blender 2.8. I like it. You know, it's cool. Frankly, at this point, here's what I'm thinking, folks. I'm thinking we get rid of the band there. The easiest solution to the problem I have right now is to get rid of that. Because everywhere else he doesn't have that band. And the other guy's got bands on his arms. So let's just make our lives slightly easier. And so anyway, with that, we know that, I guess we want to look at this. Well, actually, we've got a close-up right here too. Okay, so that's what this guy's actually supposed to look like. So he's a little more big-eyed. That's what I've been doing wrong here. I knew there was something wrong. Now you might think it's ridiculous, the idea that you'd go from, you know, from this shot to that shot without necessarily remembering how you drew a character. But, you know, I'm just going, you know. You're just humming along, and it's easy to forget a little this and a little that. And by the way, actually, I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to go ahead and grab these. Since I know these are pretty much working, I might as well use them. So, rotate that, go over here. Yeah. Slight shrinkage, slight goage, slight rotatage. And, okay, so now, can we really buy that those eyes turned into these eyes? I don't think so. I don't think so, folks. I don't think that's going to happen. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to go here. And the difference is this right here. It should be like that. Now that I could buy. Okay. That's working. Good. Good. So that's better. Okay, I've been live streaming for 38 minutes, and I think, if I'm not mistaken, OBS has only puked out one time. It's only quit streaming once, which is great. So, one of the guys I subscribe to, I've noticed he's had occasional dropouts on his live stream as well, so it's not like I'm the only one. But if we can fix it, let's fix it, right? That's what I say. So what time is it? 3:37. So I actually have to split in 10 minutes to go pick up my son from school. So I think with that I'm going to quit. I'm going to go ahead and stop. I'm back already, yeah, because I want Oscar. I changed the streaming settings on OBS, and it's only blanked out once, so that seems to be an improvement. So sorry to say hello and say goodbye, but I'm actually gonna have to get off here and go pick up my son from school. So anyway, thanks for watching, guys, and I know you guys get notified when I stream, so maybe, and I don't really have a schedule, although around 10 in the morning does seem to be coming up over and over. But maybe I'll get into a little bit of a more regimented schedule, and maybe put out a tweet on, you know, you can follow me on Twitter at Blended Planet as well. So anyway, that's it for now. I'm sure I'll be back, maybe yet tonight, but this is definitely looking better than earlier today. So anyway, have a good one, guys.